All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we got a pretty exciting one lined up for today. We had some crazy spoilers last night, or I guess this morning, depending on where you live. We had some crazy spoilers come out, and we got to go over them. Okay, a little bit of a spoiler you can see right here on the front screen, but you have been warned, guys. We're going to be going over some really cool new cards here from OP13. Now's the time to turn away if you don't want to see any spoilers. So let's get right into it, guys. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden. To celebrate their 1-year anniversary, they're thanking the fans with a huge sale. Nearly everything in the store is $30 or less. And you can use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an extra 5% off on your next order. All right, guys, first card up is going to be an event called If I Bow Down to Power, What's the Point in Living? Okay, this is a one-cost blue Whitebeard Pirates event. With main, you may rest one of your Dawn cards, so that will be 2 altogether. If you have 1 or less life cards, your opponent cannot activate a card with blocker when your leader attacks this turn, and then counter up to one of your leader's gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. So that's a pretty nice, utility 3k counter for the leader. This will probably go well in any kind of Whitebeard Pirates deck, whether you're running Red-Blue Marco or Blue Edward Newgate and Ace, or the new Red-Blue Ace coming out in OP13. Okay, so this is just a nice utility event here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have quite a few cards to go over, guys, so I'm going to try to move through these pretty quickly, especially with these earlier ones. These are not quite as exciting as what we have a little bit later, okay? So this next one up here, we have Uda. This is a green 4-cost, 5,000 power film character with a 1k counter that has on play set up to 2 of your Dawn cards as active. That's becoming a very pushed theme within green right now, is this ability to stand Dawn as active after playing something out, like a character on play standing 2 Dawn as active. Then you may not play character cards with an original cost of 5 or greater for the rest of the turn. So that's interesting. I think we did see that with Mihawk first, right? I think it was the 8-cost Mihawk from OP12 is the ability to play out a character that gives you 4 Dawn back as active, and then it gives you a limitation saying, okay, you can't play out a character now for the rest of the turn that costs 7 or more or something like that. And I guess it's good to see them keeping things in check a little bit, but this is a lot of extra Dawn you're getting. This works as like a 2-cost 5,000 power character that has a 1k counter in hand, and I didn't even read the last part here. On KO, play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand as rested. So again, you're going to play this out on something like a 4 Dawn turn, get 2 of your Dawn back to do whatever you want with for the rest of the turn. Now, this is, of course, a green film OP13 card, so it's meant to go with the new red-green Luffy leader, and you'll be able to attach a Dawn to your leader and have 1 Dawn left for the turn, or for your opponent's turn, to get out of an attack for free, potentially, right? So that's really nice, but then on top of that, it has on KO, you're going to be able to play out a character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand, rested. So that has a lot of potential as well if you're going against a deck that has a lot of KO removal, or a deck that's trying to attack into your board. Because notice, that's just on KO. It doesn't matter if this card gets KO'd by an effect or in battle. You'll be able to get the effect afterwards. So really, really nice stuff here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Yamato. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power blue Landawano character with a 1k counter. Okay, I'm listening. All the blue-yellow ace players, their ears just perked up, right? Like, okay, 5-cost, blue, 6,000 power, and a 1k counter. Let's see what it does. On play, if your life is 3 or less, draw 2 cards. Okay, then give up to one of your leaders 1 rested Dawn card. So that second part's kind of whatever. I'm sure that's probably meant more for like red-blue ace coming out in OP13. But just looking at this as a blue-yellow ace player, on play, if your life is 3 or less, draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's pretty nice, guys. This is another thing I'm starting to notice, especially, I think mainly in OP13 we're starting to see this, and maybe it started in PRB02, is just this draw 2 card effect. I don't know if that's some type of result of power creep or what, but I feel like in if this card had come out, or a card similar to this had come out maybe just like 3 or 4 sets ago, this probably would have been a, if your life is 3 or less, draw 2, trash 1, or something like that. Or draw 2, put 1 on the bottom of your deck, you know, something along those lines. But guys, this is just an on-play, draw 2 cards, and you give a Arrested Dawn to your leader. This is really, really nice. Now, unfortunately, again, going back to Blue Yellow Ace, I'm sorry, guys, it's like my main deck right now. We have to talk about that. Unfortunately, this card does not give 2 Rested Dawn cards. You know, maybe I'm being a little bit greedy. Maybe drop the power down to 5,000. I actually would have been happier and give 2 Dawn to my leader. That way you can be more aggressive on the turn you play it as well, and you still get the effect. But either way, you know, this is a really strong effect here. Very strong character. This is one of those cards. And notice this, guys. This card is completely not leader locked. And that's something I probably should have been looking at from the beginning here. Like, for example, this Uda here. This card is also really not leader locked. Okay, so that is something you have to really consider when you're considering how good. And that's something you have to consider when you're trying to, you know, evaluate how strong a card is, how good a card actually is. Guys, this card has no limitation. You just have to be at 3 or less life to get the on-play effect, which that is a condition that's going to be harder for the monocolored 5-life leaders to get around. But if it's like a 4-life dual-color leader, this is a 5-Dawn character, or excuse me, a 5-cost character. So you could take your first hit, and you're down to 3 life now, and then when you play this card out on your 5-Dawn turn, you're drawing 2 cards and giving a Dawn to your leader and getting tons of value while establishing a 6,000 power character on the board, and it's a 1k counter in hand. Excellent card here. Really big fan of this one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up we have Stussy. This is a 7-cost, 7,000 power yellow egghead CP0 character with blocker. Okay, and on play, if your leader is the egghead type, play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less with a trigger from your hand. Wow. Wow, that is really, really strong, and the art looks incredible, as per usual, right? Most of the cards in this game just look incredible, but I have to say, that is really strong, guys. So this is a 7-cost, 7,000 power character with blocker. It's only a little bit understated at that point. Like, you'd expect a 7-cost, 7k blocker to at least have a 1k counter, but here's the thing. This card has an additional effect on top of being a 7-cost, 7k with blocker. It has, if your leader is the egghead type, play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less with a trigger from your hand. Okay, yeah, so I'm thinking this is going to go very well in something like OP13 Yellow Bonnie, of course, and I'm sure Vegapunk. I think that might be the only 2 leaders that can run a character like this, at least currently. Who knows if anyone's running, you know, Rainbow Luffy tournaments or something like that somewhere. But in general, there's only 2 leaders that I believe can run this right now. Help me out in the comment section below if I'm off on that. But if you're running this in Vegapunk or the new Bonnie coming out in OP13, this card is an absolute monster. And the fact that this is a 7-cost card, guys, is not irrelevant. That is incredible for your going first curve. First of all, you're going to want to build a bunch of 5-cost cards into the deck to get full value from this card. So imagine what that looks like. All right, I'm just going to give an example. This is Magical Christmas Land, okay? But bear with me. Turn 1, use your Searcher, the 1-cost event Searcher. Turn 2, Lilith, and you're swinging for 7 with your leader, guys. You're swinging for 7 with your leader at that point if it's Yellow Jory Bonnie. Turn 3 for your 5-Dawn turn. Maybe you play out that new Boa Hancock or the 5-cost Nami that can KO a 5-cost or less by trashing a trigger from your hand. And then on your 7-Dawn turn 4, you're playing this card out and cheating out another 5-cost. And that's going to give Dawn to your leader, right, guys? Whenever you know, again, this is in Yellow Jory Bonnie, you're attaching 2 Dawn to your leader if you're playing out a character with trigger on it. So you're staying aggressive the whole time, and guess what? After your 7-Dawn turn, you're going into a 9-Dawn turn for that new 9-cost Jory Bonnie. Whew, man, guys, this is gross. This card is really, really strong, and it's egghead searchable. I cannot wait to get my hands on this card and mess around with Jory Bonnie again, okay? Because that leader was already kind of speaking to me. It's yellow. That's my main color for those who are not aware. So I was thinking, okay, you know, yellow Jory Bonnie. All right, not too bad. We'll have to mess around with this. And then seeing this kind of support, this is outstanding. This card is incredible in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a yellow player, but I have to say this card seems excellent, at least at first glance here. It's a 7-cost 7k with blocker. You might be able to cheat out a card that has removal, and it's a card with trigger, so your leader gets 2 Dawn. Okay, say less. Yeah, we'll take it, guys. We'll take it every time. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now let me actually shrink my head down a little bit. We got some really cool looking stuff to go over here. They showed all the new secret rares coming out in OP13. Look at this, guys. We already knew about Sabo, right? We'd known about Sabo for a while, but they showed off the other two characters. Of course, it was going to be the three brothers. So we have Sabo, Luffy, and Ace. And they're in their respective colors, right? So for those who are not aware, in OP13, there are three leaders that are based around these characters as well, right? So red, green Luffy, red, blue Ace, and red, black Sabo. So each one is, in their respective color. Now, they all share the color red, but then there's a unique color for each one, and that's what these represent here. So let's go ahead and check these out real quick. First up is Monkey D. Luffy. So this is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character. I guess I can adjust my camera back, right? So this is a 6-cost, 7,000 power Fishman Island Supernova Straw Hat Crew character with double attack, okay? And on play, if your leader is multicolored, set up to 4 of your Dawn as active. Then you may not play character cards with an original cost of 5 or greater for the rest of this turn. Okay, so with an original cost of 5 or greater, so maybe that's based off the idea of trying to cheat out, like maybe in green, purple Luffy, if your Dawn is lower than your opponent's, you would try to cheat out the 3-cost, 6-cost Sanji, right? That has its cost reduced if you have 2 or more less Dawn than your opponent. Again, I'm very happy to see that they're going around that idea of like, okay, we want to be able to have green have this ability to get Dawn back as active. And by the way, guys, that is absurd. Hang on a second. So that is on play if your leader's multicolored, set up to 4 of your Dawn as active. So this is a 6-cost card. You play this out, it only ends up costing 2 at the end, right? You only end up spending 2 of the Dawn, and you still have 4 Dawn left from this this effect on just a 6 Dawn turn. I can really understand why they wanted to make this have a restriction of the 5 cost or greater for the turn, where you can't play out a character with a cost of 5 or greater. That makes a lot of sense here, because then this is a 6-cost 7K with double attack. So again, imagine how this will play out. Okay, so if you end up playing this out on your 6 Dawn turn, right, just playing it on curve, you went second, so turn 3, you're playing out a 6-cost 7,000 power character. You get to stand 4 of those Dawn back up as active that you just used, and then with that, maybe you end up playing out the 4-cost Zoro that's coming out in OP13. I'll try to remember to put that on the screen if I have a chance here, guys, if I remember. You play out that new Zoro, and then you get 2 more Dawn back as active, and you can put a Dawn on your leader and go from there. That seems incredible, guys. This card seems really, really strong. And guys, it has double attack. That is just a threat looming on the board at all times. And here's the really nice thing about this card that I like a lot. Ultimately, this is a card that's not really locked to anything, right? Now, yes, it is locked to a multicolored leader. It is worth mentioning that. But other than that, I mean, if you're running a multicolored leader that has green in it, this will probably be a staple in every single multicolored green deck moving forward. Very, very powerful secret rare here, guys. Very nice. Okay, now let's check out the Ace. All right, here's Ace. Check this out, guys. 6 cost, 7,000 power with Whitebeard Pirates type. And if you have 3 or less life, this character gains Rush. Okay, and then on play, give up to 1 rested Dawn to your leader. Afterwards, return up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. Okay? Then, if you do, your opponent may play up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less from their hand. Okay. A lot to talk about here, a lot to unravel. Number 1, again, I mentioned this earlier, I'm a blue-yellow Ace guy right now. That's my main deck at the time of me recording this video. And I have to say, I wish this had been a 5-cost character, even if they had to drop it down to a 5-cost 6K. Again, just because I'm a blue-yellow Ace guy. The card is still strong. It's not like the card is bad because of that. But I will say, out of all the 3 brothers, this one seems like they were really trying to hold it back from being broken. Because let's consider, I have a Sabo on this next screen. Pause and read this card if you don't know what it does. I'm not going to reread this one. But you got a 6-cost 7K blocker, right? With an activate main to get a Dawn and +2 the cost. I mean, it's just incredible, right? And then we go to Ace, and this one, and then let me go back to Luffy real quick. Notice this just has double attack. So the Luffy just has double attack. The Sabo just has blocker. But Ace, they decided, you know what? We want to give him Rush, but it's only going to be under certain conditions. And you have to be at 3 or less life. I'm not a huge fan of how they chose to do that, but I understand they're trying to keep the card balanced. But I felt, like I said, it feels like with this card, they really tried to limit how strong this card could be. Whereas with Luffy, yeah, I guess you could say they did try to limit that in some ways, because you're getting 4 Dawn back, and now you can't play out a card that costs 5 or greater, or it was worded something along those lines. I get that, but you still have all that Dawn left for the turn to do what you want with, or save up for events, or for your leader effect, or whatever. Whereas this Ace here is like, okay, So if I have 4 or more life, then, you know, I won't have rush on this character, which probably is not a big deal. You'll just take life accordingly depending on what deck you're running, and this would probably only really hurt the new mono blue leader coming out in ST22, the Ace and Newgate leader coming out. But for all the other decks that would more than likely run this, there'll probably be dual colored leaders that start at 4 life, so you take 1 life and this thing's online. So that's really, really good. And then the on-play effect, I'm not in love with this on-play effect. It says give up to 1 rested Dawn to your leader. Okay, that is a thumbs up. That is solid. Afterwards, return up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. Again, that is excellent. We'll take it every time. But then, if you do, your opponent may play up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less from their hand. So basically, if your opponent has like a 4 cost or lower character, let's just say your opponent had a 4 cost character on the board, right, instead of a 5 cost. If your opponent had a 4 cost or lower character on the board and you play this out, you can't really even bounce their character back, unfortunately, right? Because you'll bounce their character back and, oh, okay, I'll just play out another character that's 4 cost or less, and it's like it didn't do anything, unfortunately. Now, yes, if you can hit a specific cost of 5 or less, then this would be pretty good, because now they're dropping down a character that's a little bit lower in power, a little bit weaker, and this card might even have rush, depending on the board state, right? Depending on how much life you have. But again, I don't really love that. At least make it come into play rested, so now I can attack into it with my ace. Or at least make it based off of original power, original cost. That would help as well. And you guys tell me if something's wrong with the translations on any of these, please help me out in the comment section below. But otherwise, guys, I really do think this is a strong card. I'm not trying to nitpick too much. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's not very good. I think this is an incredibly powerful card with a lot of upside, a lot of potential. I just wish that second part of the effect there at least put the card into play rested or something along those lines, because pushing back one of their characters for them to play out another character with a potential on play effect, that's not always the best case scenario, right? That might not always help you every time. Either way, though, tell me what you guys think about this card. Tell me what you guys think about all these cards, by the way, in the comment section below. But be sure to tell me what you guys think about Ace on this one. Y'all try to help me see it, guys, because I want to make this work in my blue-yellow Ace deck. And I get it. Not every card's meant for blue-yellow Ace. This one's clearly meant for red-blue Ace more than anything. But it seems pretty good. One other thing I have to say, guys. One other thing I have to nitpick real quick is it says afterwards, return up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 less to the owner's hand. I wish it was worded in a way where I could return my own character to my hand and then play out a 4 cost off of that. Then I think it would have the utility that I need for it to have for me to really like this card. Either way, that's enough about this one. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we already went over the Saba before, guys. Again, pause and read this if you don't know what this character does, okay? All right, now we're going to look at some really cool-looking alt arts for these leaders. Check this out, guys. So here's the alt art. Hang on, it gets better. Okay, here's the manga. Hang on, it gets better. That's right, even better than a manga. Check this out, guys. It's some type of new red alt art manga coming out specifically for these 3 new secret rares coming out in OP13. How awesome do these look? And I do have some slightly better pictures that I pulled from the slideshow. Check this out. This looks incredible. We got Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. Notice there's no artist name at the top right where it would normally be, so that usually means that Oda did it himself. Okay, now let's keep going. Check this out. I got the other ones on here as well. Here's the manga in a slightly better, more clear picture, and then here are the red ones. Notice what it says. And for this release, we've prepared a red super parallel card themed around fire. How cool is that, guys? This looks so good. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, we got a few more alt arts to go over. Okay, we got a few more alt arts. We got the wanted posters back. Check this out. We got Luffy and Ace here. We got Sabo and Roger. And then here's like the better picture of them from the slideshow. Really cool looking stuff here. These look great. And it's nice that when they were designing these cards, they made sure they were all the same cost and all the same power level, so they could be designed around that to give all colors an equal distribution of power like that. Okay, at least for the 3 brothers, right? Not so much for Roger. Don't mind Roger. Don't pay attention to that right now. Okay, but the Roger looks awesome too. Okay, now we got Divine Departure. Divine Departure is a 0 cost purple event, Pirate King and Roger Pirates type. Hang on, I gotta make the camera a little bit bigger. There we go. So it has main. You may rest 5 of your Dawn cards. Okay, so it'll be 5 altogether, because this is a 0 cost event, guys. It's a zero-cost event with a main effect that says you may rest 5 of your Dawn cards. And if you have, and if you have any given Dawn, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 8,000 power for the turn. That is brutal, guys. So this is like the purple version of Divine Departure. Red already has one. And they're actually about the same cost the more I think about it, because you have to have a given Dawn card in order to do this effect here. So even though this is a zero cost that makes you tap 5, you do have to have one Dawn attached somewhere or given to a character or leader somewhere, and then pay 5 to do the effect. So this is at least a 6 cost card at the, when everything's said and done. But guys, that is insane. Even if you're dealing with a 12,000 power character, they're now a 4,000 power character. Nothing should be able to survive from this for the most part, unless you're just not attacking properly, right? Or unless you have no board state. Or I guess if your opponent has enough blockers, right? You never know. But either way, this effect is extremely powerful. And then the counter has trash one card from your hand, and up to one of your leaders or characters gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. Okay, so as a counter, this is basically a zero-cost 3K, right? Which has, it's a zero-cost 3K, you trash a card from hand, and you get plus 3,000 power to a character or leader for the battle. And then this main effect on top of that, it makes it even better, where it's minus 8,000 for the turn to a character. That is really, really strong, guys. Big fan of this new event here. All right, let's keep going. Check out these alt-arts, guys. These look so good. Look at this. I knew, guys, right when I saw this, I thought, is that another Akira Igawa masterpiece? And the answer is yes, it is, I believe, if I saw the name correctly. We got Silver's Rayleigh on the left, Roger in the middle, and young Shanks on the right. We have, both arms Shanks on the right here. You love to see it. Okay, let's keep going. And here's the, this is from the slideshow. Again, it says Silver's Rayleigh, Goldie, Roger, and Shanks. These look really, really good. Be sure to pause and check these out if you want to see these. Look at that, guys. Just incredible alt-arts. The art in this game has never been bad. We all know that, right? Okay. Next up, we got some SPs here. Check this out. We got some new super parallels, I think they're called. We got these new alt-arts here. We got Ben Beckman. And look at the gold outlines in the background. Oh, too nice, guys. Too good. These look so incredible. We got the 7-cost 7K Ben Beckman, the 5-cost 7K Smoker with Banish, right? So we got the Beckman that trashes a 6,000 power lower character, the Smoker that has Banishing and Stand of Dawn is active, and then we have the Ace over here. I actually am not sure. Okay, I do. It's an EB02 Ace, guys. Y'all can't see because my head's in the way right now, but this is the EB02 Searcher Ace for the 2-cost character. Okay, and then we also have, look at these, holy cow, they look so good. So we got 9-cost Purple Luffy here. This is the on-play Dawn -1, and, however many more you want to remove, and then you get to draw a card and get Rush. We have the 8-cost 9,000 power OP07 Secret Sabo that KOs a 5 or less and a 3 or less when you trash a card on play. And then we have the 3-cost 5K Searcher Lilith. Man, these look so good. Loving that black and gold, guys. Really loving the look of that black and gold there. Okay, and then here's the slightly better pictures of them. I pulled straight from the slideshow. This looks really good. Okay, and then here are the other ones. Jeez, guys, these just look so good. I know I'm sounding very repetitive, but guys, they just look so good. Okay, let's keep going. We got some Shanks here. We got some parallel alt-art versions of Shanks here. This is the 10-cost 12K with Rush and gives minus 1,000 to your opponent's board, right? All of the characters on their board. So really good stuff here. It might be hard to tell, but the one on the left is gold and the one on the right is silver. So it's like it's red and white and black everywhere, but then the accents on the one on the left is gold and the accent on the one on the right is like a silver or more of a gray. It's hard to explain, but they are slightly different there. You can't really tell that well from this picture. Okay, now, it's time to talk about a new leader, Emu. That's right. Emu is a 4-life, 5,000 power leader. It has question marks for the type and the attribute, so that should be very interesting. What type are they? What attribute are they? It's a question mark. I don't know. We don't know yet. And check out this effect. Pause and read it if you need to, guys. We're going to spend some time talking about this. It says, per the rules, okay? Per the rules, you may not play cost 2 or greater events in your deck. Also, at the beginning of the game, play up to 1 Holy Land Marijois type stage from your deck. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a minute. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a minute. And it has activate main. Once per turn, you may trash one of your Celestial Dragon type characters from play or 1 card from your hand to draw a card. So guys, here it is, man. This is Emu. I gotta make my camera a little bit bigger so we can talk about this for a minute. So the effect there is actually, there is a new stage that's coming out. I don't remember where I put it in the slideshow, guys, but we're going to go over the stage. It's like a 7-cost stage that I think you'll be able to play out based off of this effect. Because notice what it says here. Per the rules, you may not play cost 2 or greater events in your deck. Also, at the beginning of the game, play up to 1 Holy Land Marijois type stage from your deck. Okay, so any type of deck that has that type, it's going off the type, not the name, you'll be able to play it. Okay, so remember that for later, guys. We'll be talking about that in a minute. It's very, very powerful. Now, the actual main effect of this leader, it is a draw card effect. So that's automatically going to be powerful for the most part. It is activate main once per turn. You may trash one of your Celestial Dragon type characters from play or one of your cards from your hand and then draw a card. And notice it does say or 1 card from your hand, so that probably doesn't have to be a Celestial Dragon type card, but who knows? I'm not exactly sure about that with the wording there. If anyone can confirm, by all means, please say something in the comment section below. But I will say, so this is a mono color leader, right? This is a mono black leader that has 5,000 power and only 4 life. So the effect needs to be very strong, right? The effect actually needs to be very strong. And I think the most powerful part of this effect, other than like the pseudo cycle effect going on there with the activate main, is being able to cheat your stage out into play right before your turn 1 play, right? Because this says per the rules of the game, or excuse me, let me go to the end here. Also, at the beginning of the game, play up to 1 Holy Land Marijois type stage from your deck. Okay, so that should happen before the game even starts, guys. I'll try to put a clip of the rules on the screen here that talks about what that actually means, right? Like how that would, how the game would play out from the very beginning. If this is the leader you choose, what do we do, right? What's the procedure there? And I believe before the game even starts, I think players will determine who gets to go first or not, and then when you flip the leader over and everything, you're gonna basically show like, hey, at the beginning of this game, I'm gonna start with this stage from my deck in play, okay, and then you'll shuffle up your cards and go from there. So I believe it'll go something like that. Like I said, guys, I'll try to remember to put the snippet on the screen here from the rules of how things will work with that. Okay, now the activate main, I say it's a pseudo cycle. It's actually just a straight up cycle, right? Because you're activating main and you're going to either trash a Celestial Dragon type card from play or 1 card from your hand and you're going to draw a card. So you're filling up your trash. That will be very relevant later, guys. Keep that in mind because there's an entire package they revealed around this leader that has the trash that it needs to deal with. Okay, it deals with the trash directly. So be sure to keep that in mind. We're trashing cards from the board or from our hand to draw a card. So really strong leader effect here. However, by itself, it's not really that great, especially being only a 4-life leader. But let's see what kind of support they built around this leader. You guys ready? Let's keep going. Okay. Yep, here we go. We got the 5 elders here, right? We got the 5 elders. Check this out. These are the common versions of the card. Now, watch this. Okay, so here's like a better view of them, of course, like in the from the slideshow. But look at these alt arts, guys. Wow. Look at these alt arts, okay? And I'm going to go to the better quality ones. Check this out, guys. Down at the bottom here, it looks like my head's in the way. I'm going to shrink my camera down super small. It says, this special illustration of the 5 elders was provided by, is it Gigi Akutami? And that is the author of, I think they said, Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, someone correct me in the comment section below if I'm off on that. But how amazing is this, guys? We're going to zoom in on each one of these. These alt arts go crazy, okay? You've got like the 5-pointed star at the top left corner of each one where the numbers are. Look at this, guys. These might be the wildest alt arts I've ever seen in the game's history. And it's appropriately, you know, for the 5 elders, right? It does make sense. These look so good. I can't wait to see these in person. I want to see what these look like in person with the texturing and whatnot. And I really want to inspect these. Okay, just going through every single one of them real quick. Jeez. Guys, they look so good. Okay, very nice. Now, okay, they look real nice, but what do they do? What do they do, guys? Now let's go ahead and look over each one of these, and then we're going to talk about the leader Emu again as we go over each one of these and as we go over the stage when we get towards the end of it, okay? So J. Garcia Saturn, this is a 4-cost, 5,000 power character with a 1k counter. It has Celestial Dragon and then 5 Elder Stars type, okay? And then the effect is if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed by your opponent's effects. Remember what we were talking about earlier, guys, filling up your trash? The leader does that perfectly. The leader does it brilliantly, right? You're trashing a card from hand just to draw a card and cycle out and fill up cards in your trash that you want in there. Okay, and as you get more and more cards in your trash, you're buffing up your characters, you know, your 5 Elder Stars. And in this case, it has, if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed by your opponent's effects, okay? And we have on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the 5 Elder Stars type and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so this first one here, we got a top 5 searcher. It's a 4-cost 5k with a 1k counter, and then it has the ability to not be removed from your from the field by your opponent's effects if you have 7 or more cards in the trash. But other than that, it's just a 4-cost 5k 1k counter searcher, top 5 searcher for Elder Star characters. So that's actually just really solid as is. Now, it does actually say, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card. So it can even search up events and stuff like that as well, maybe even stages potentially. We'll see how things are worded. Okay, so this first one, really, really strong. We got a searcher here. Next up, we have Saint Topman. Whoops, sorry, guys. Making myself dizzy there. We got Saint Topman Warcury. When I see that, I want to say Mercury, but it says Warcury. Okay, or Warcury. Not sure how to say that. But this is another 4-cost 5,000 power, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragon character with a 1k counter, and it has, if your trash is 7 cards or more, this character cannot leave play by your opponent's effects and gains blocker. Okay, so it looks like that's going to be a common theme. And then on KO, draw a card. So this is the card you just want to slam down. You can use it as a blocker if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, and then you're not going to be afraid to attack with this card because you're going to draw cards afterwards. Same idea with the first one we saw with, I can't remember his name, with Saturn here, Jay Garcia Saturn. Once they go into play, you're kind of just ready to sacrifice them for the most part, right? They get into play, or you can 1k counter out with them to fill up your trash easier. That's always good to see. But you're going to try to, you know, this card already got the on-play effect. Now you just attack with it. And they can't even remove these characters with effects if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, and you can go from there. Same idea here with St. Topman Warcury. You're going to be able to draw cards whenever they remove this character through KO, right? If they KO it in battle, or if they KO, well, they can't even KO it with an effect. Never mind, unless you don't have 7 or more cards in your trash. Either way, really good card here. This is just a nice early card to play out right on turn 2, going second, and you're good to go, right? All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, next we have Saint Ethan Baron v. Nuzjaro. No idea how to say that, guys. Y'all bear with me. Be nice in the comment section below. I can already hear it in my mind what people are saying. Okay, I'm just going to call him Saint Ethan Baron from now on. This is a 6-cost 5,000 power character with 5 Elder Stars and Celestial Dragon type, 1k counter. If your trash is 7 cards or more, this character cannot leave play by your opponent's effects and gains rush, okay? So we have the base one that's just, you know, can't be removed by effects when you have 7 or more cards in your trash. Then we have one that gains that and blocker, and now we have this one that gains it and rush, okay? So again, if your trash is 7 cards or more, your opponent is not even going to be able to interact with these cards other than maybe resting them or keeping them locked down. Okay, and then some of them gain additional effects like blocker and rush in this case. And check this out. On attack, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for this turn. So you're attacking in as a 5,000 power character with rush, you know, and dropping down the power of one of their characters by 2,000. Really, really good stuff here. Now, that might seem understated for some people, right? Like, well, that's a 6-cost 5k. What's going on? Hang on, guys. Be patient. That might change here. But either way, this one, I think this one's my favorite art, by the way, guys, with this horse on there. I think this one looks really awesome. They all look great, but this one in particular, I think is my favorite one. Okay, as far as the art goes. Okay, so here we go. So again, 6-cost 5k, 1k counter, gains rush if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, and if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, when you attack with this character, minus 2,000 power for the turn. Okay, now for the next one. Okay, so that's 3 we've gone over. Here's the 4th one here. This one is St. Marcus Mars. This is a 6-cost 5,000 power character with a 1k counter, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragon. If your trash is 7 or more cards, this character cannot leave play by your opponent's effects and gains blocker, right? So we have another blocker. Okay, we have 2 blockers that are these 5 Elder Stars characters. Then we have on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand and KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. So now we have ways to interact with our opponent's board as well. That seems really, really strong. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. So far, this is probably my favorite effect because you have a 6 cost that comes into play. You trash a card, filling up your trash, which is really good for these characters, right? Because you want to get to 7 cards in your trash as quickly as possible so that your opponent cannot deal with your characters, right? So you're going to trash a card and you're going to KO a character with the cost of 5 or less based off their original power, okay? And then you have a 5k on the board that's also a blocker. Now, there's one more card to go over before we bring this whole thing together. Check this out, guys. I saved this one till the end because look at this effect. Saint Shepherd Jupiter is a black 7 cost, 5,000 power, 5 Elder Stars Celestial Dragon character with a 2k counter. Okay, the others were all 1k counters. This one's a 2k counter, and listen to this effect. If your trash is 7 cards or more, this character cannot leave play by your opponent's effects. Okay, he doesn't have an effect like the one that did the searching, right? But, watch this, guys. During your turn, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give all of your 5 Elder Star type characters a base power of 7,000. Okay, now we're talking, right? At first, it seemed a little bit crazy, right? Let's go back to the first ones real quick with with Saturn here. It's like, okay, this one's pretty good. It's a 4 cost 5k, 1k counter, does a search. Okay, the next one, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter, and then it gains blocker and on KO draw a card. So we can block to get the KO whenever we need to. But then you get to these next two and it gets a little scary, right? Like, wait a minute, a 6 cost 5k is not very good. Even though it has rush, that's really not that great. And the same thing with the next one, 6 cost 5k, but it has removal. I guess a little bit better, and it has blocker, maybe that's a little bit better. However, this final card brings it all together here. Saint Shepherd, he makes it where if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, it is only during your turn, by the way. During your turn, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give all of your 5 Elder Star type characters a base power of 7,000. And now you're swinging 7,000s across the board. That becomes very hard to deal with very quickly. Okay, but wait, there's more, right? Okay, how often are we going to be able to get all of those cards into play at one time? Well, let me show you guys the next card here. We have 5 Elder Stars. This is a 10 cost, 12,000 power character. It has slash and special. That's interesting. I wasn't paying attention to the types for each one of those. Hang on, we got to go back now and look at these. Okay, so we got special, special, slash, and special. Oh, and then so all of them are special except Saint Ethan Baron. Okay. Now, let's go back to this 5 Elder Stars. This one has activate main, and it's a 5 Elder Star Celestial Dragon type character. 10 cost 12k, activate main. If your leader is Emu, okay, you may rest one of your Dawn and trash 1 card from your hand. Trash all of your characters, then play from your trash up to 5 Elder Star type characters with a power of 5,000 that all have different names. So this card brings them all together. And you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. Like, Vivi, something's still not adding up here. Okay, if your leader's Emu, that's fine. But this is a 10 cost 12k character, and it has activate main. You may rest one of your Dawn and trash 1 card from your hand. How are you going to do that when you're playing this out for 10 Dawn? Well, now we have to go over to the next card real quick, guys. Oh, well, first of all, here's the alt art on the right, and then the card we didn't see yet. This is the standard art on the left. Okay, it looks really good. I know my camera's in the way. I'll try to move it over for you guys to check it out. But check this out, guys. This is a stage, and notice the type is Holy Land Marijois. This is called the Empty Throne. It's a 7 cost stage, and this ties the entire package together with that card we just saw. Listen to this. On your turn, if your trash is 19 cards or greater, give your leader plus 1,000 power. Okay, so that's going to take a while to get to, obviously, and it's only on your turn, so it doesn't work defensively. But check out this activate main. Activate main, you may rest this card and 3 of your Dawn. So you're going to tap the stage and tap 3 Dawn. Play from your hand a black 5 Elder Stars type character that has a cost equal to or less than the total number of Dawn cards on your field. So in other words, guys, hang on, guys, bear with me here as we go back through these. You're going to be able to play this out on your 10 Dawn turn with the stage for 3 Dawn, and then you're going to still have to rest up to 1 of your Dawn cards and trash a card with the effect here. Notice the effect over here, guys. You're going to have to trash a card from hand, and then you can play this card out after trashing all your characters. Well, excuse me, you're going to play the card out. It's not an on-play effect. You're going to play the card out for 3, and then you're going to activate main to rest the Dawn, trash a card from your hand, and trash all your characters, and then you're going to play from your trash up to 5 Elder Star type characters with a power of 5,000 that all have different names. So from this effect right here, you're going to be able to cheat out Shepherd, Mars, Ethan Baron, Warcury, Saturn, and... Oh, that was all 5 of them. Sorry, that was all 5 of them. How insane is that, guys? Now, one thing I'm going to try to keep in mind as I'm looking through all these cards, remember we talked about this earlier, determining, like, trying to evaluate how strong a card actually is how many... I wonder if we're going to be able to use any of these 5 Elder Star characters in decks that are not Emu. That's something we'll have to pay attention to, because if we can make something work, that could be really, really insane. Now, understand, a lot of these effects go off of, like, if you have 7 more cards, you're trash. Notice none of the cards we looked at, like Saturn and all the 5, none of them went off of if you have Emu in play, right? So this card has nothing to do with Emu. And if it does, guys, help me out in the comment section below if I missed something. But check this one out. If you're trash to 7 or more cards, okay, and it gets the effects, on KO, draw a card. Okay, well, that's just universally a good card. Same thing with this one. It doesn't say anything about if your leader's Emu or if your leader's 5 Elder Stars type. And even the searcher just says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 card with the 5 Elder Stars type and add to your hand, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So none of these are checking for who your leader is. This card in particular is really nice. You may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. Okay, that's just probably good in general, guys. It's a 6 cost that does that, but playing out a 6 cost, trashing a card to KO a 5 or less, no matter what their cost is, just original cost of 5 or less, and it's a blocker if you have 7 more cards you're trash, really good. And the same thing with this card, Shepherd, which has, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give all of your 5 Elder Star type characters a base power of 7,000 during your turn. So who knows, maybe this will open up doors for other decks to try to mess around with. Now, this card in particular, we were just looking at the 5 Elder Stars. This effect does say, if your leader is Emu, do the rest. So this card in particular will be locked specifically to Emu. But those other cards are something we're going to have to consider as we're moving forward building decks in black, because putting characters on the board that cannot be removed by your opponent's effects, that has a lot of potential just by itself, especially for the cheaper ones that are like 4 cost 5Ks. Yeah, that's just a solid card, and now your opponent can't interact with it. It could be really, really strong. Well, I guess they can interact with it still, right? They can reduce the power, tap it down, keep it locked down if it's tapped down, things like that, but they can't remove it with their effects, which is really, really nice. Okay, but anyway, back to what we were talking about with this 5 Elder Stars here in the proper deck with Emu as the leader. You're going to be able to play this out with your stage, guys. With the 7 cost stage we just looked at, you're going to be able to rest at dawn, trash all your characters, and trash a card from your hand, and play out all of those 5 Elder Stars from your trash, and they're going to be ready to go. So think about what that looks like, guys. If you have 5 or more, if you have, let's just say for this example, you have like 10 or more cards in your trash, all of your characters on your turn are going to be 7,000 power or more, and then this card is going to be able to KO a 5 or less. This card's going to be able to attack in with Rush and give minus 2,000 power to a character for the turn. This card will be a blocker, and so will the other one, by the way. This the Mars card will also be a blocker. And when this Saturn comes into play, you're going to do a top 5 search. So you're going to fix your hand a little bit. You're going to establish 2 blockers. One of them can draw a card if it gets KO'd. One's rushing in. One's KOing a character. And you are just off to the races, guys. It is just going to be insane the turn you play all this stuff out. A lot of potential here, guys, from this new Emu card, this new Emu leader. They have printed some really strong support around this leader. Okay, but that's not it. So here's the card, the arts we were looking at, the original art and the alt art for the 5 Elders. We went over this stage, and when you get to 19 or more cards in your trash, now your leader's attacking for 6 as well, which is really good too. Okay, and then last but not least, guys, we got I think 2 more events to go over before we finish off here. So this event is called the 5 Elder Stars Are Here. It is a black event, 1 cost, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons with main. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the Celestial Dragons type and add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards in your trash, okay? And then trigger activates this card's main effect. So this is just the 1 cost top 3 searcher that trashes the rest of the cards, right? So really strong utility searcher here. This is going to be really good. I mean, this is just a great card to have in pretty much any black deck, where it's just you get to search up a card you need, and then it fills up your trash with the rest. Think about using this card, guys. Just using it 1 time allows you to fill 3 cards up into your trash, right? Because you play it out for 1, you search up a card, or you could choose to not, right? It says look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the Celestial Dragons type, and add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards in your trash. So here's the thing. You play this out, you're probably going to grab a card to replace it, a card that you might need, and then the other 2 cards are going into the trash. So playing out this event is going to fill 3 cards up in your trash, and then you're still going to have your leader effect for the turn where you can trash a card to draw a card as well, and there, all of a sudden, after turn 1, potentially, you have 4 cards in your trash. So really, really good stuff here. Okay, just a nice searcher event here. Let's move on to the next one. And now we have Never Existed. Okay, this is a 1-cost black event, 5 Elder Stars Celestial Dragons type with main. You may rest 1 of your Dawn if your leader is Emu, and KO up to 1 of your opponents. Cost 7 stage cards. Okay, so that's obviously going to be meant to deal with the other Mary Joie stage. It says KO up to 1 of your opponents costs 7 stage cards, like specifically a 7-cost stage card. So I guess this is meant more for the mirror match right now, but who knows? Maybe they'll print more 7-cost stages in the future that are just incredibly powerful events. Or excuse me, incredibly powerful stages with really strong events. Or effects. Sorry guys, I'm struggling. Okay, now this is also a 1-cost counter, so it has a main effect and a counter, okay? Counter is if your leader is Emu, give your leader or one of your characters plus 4,000 power for this battle. So that's probably what this card will be most of the time, right? Because, again, notice it does not say KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less. So that's only going to be able to hit 1 stage in the game currently, and it's called the Empty Throne, coming out in OP13. So this card is usually probably going to be meant for a 1-cost 4K counter, but hey, that's not bad, right? That's not a bad thing to have, a 1-cost 4K counter for your leader or your characters. We'll take that. Really good stuff. Really, we'll take it every time. All right, that's it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Who cannot wait to mess around with Emu? This leader looks like so much fun, especially with all the 5 Elders. And I'm the kind of madman who's thinking, like, maybe I can make a 5 Elders deck in black without Emu. Not to say I won't build one with Emu too, but y'all know what I mean. Could be fun, could be interesting. We'll definitely talk more about that leader later, and once it gets updated on the sim, you know we're going to be blasting games of Emu as soon as we can. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page on here real quick, guys. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help me out, guys, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're supporting me through the playmats, YouTube members, Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out or help out the community, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, peace.